The ancient battlefields of feudal Japan tonight play host to the modern-day samurai in the biggest fight event on the planet, the Fields K-1 World Grand Prix. 8 men enter and attempt to run the most grueling one-day tournament gauntlet in the world. Only one will survive to be crowned the 2008 King of Kings. Hello everybody, I'm Michael Chavella, live from the Yokohama Arena in Japan. Welcome to the granddaddy of them all, the Fields K-1 World Grand Prix. Joining me ringside, my verbal sparring partners. First of all, from FEG USA, great to be back with you again, Mike Hogan. Mike, you can cut the atmosphere here in Yokohama with a chainsaw. It is electrifying.
Absolutely. I mean, all-star, all-star lineup. This could be some kind of an all-star fight in this tournament, as well as the reserve fights. So, definitely a hell of a night for K1 fans worldwide.
And a man who has been here many times before in the ring. He's also joined us ringside on several occasions in the commentary position. The all-time K1 greatest 4-time champion, Mr. Perfect, Ernesto Hoost. Ernesto, great to have you back here ringside.
Thank you very much, and I feel excited to be here on a great matchup with 4 great K1 fights and 2 very good reserve fights.
Well, guys, let's have a look at the card. As Mike said, it is absolutely stacked from head to toe. We kick off the night with quarterfinal number 1. It is literally the fight the entire world has been talking about ever since it was decided on September 27 in Seoul. Peter Ertz versus Bada Hari. Peter Ertz, a 3-time K1 world champion. Last time he won the Grand Prix was 10 years ago in 1998. Ertz, of course, the only man in history to have competed in every single Grand Prix tournament, takes on the bad boy, the Moroccan golden boy, the Devil Prince, they call him here in Japan, Bada Hari, the K1's world heavyweight champion, competing in his second ever K1 Grand Prix. Ernesto, so much surrounding this fight, so much hype. I know it's a huge event, especially in Holland. What are your thoughts on this? You know Peter very well. You know Bada very well. How do you see this one going down?
Well, I think this one is very difficult to predict. They both have their qualities, of course. I think personally that Peter will be very strong. I know he trained very hard. And I know Bada is thinking more in the way of I'm much faster, I'm much younger. Yeah, and he might get surprised by that.
So Peter Ertz versus Bada Hari, quarterfinal number 1. The winner will take on the winner of quarterfinal number 2. We have 2 of the new generation K1 stars. In one corner, the 22-year-old bone crusher from Holland via Suriname, Errol Zimmerman, takes on the Brazilian Everton Teixeira. Teixeira, the 9th World Open Kyokushin Karate champion, made the transition to K1 this year. He is 5-0. As is Zimmerman in his K1 career. But let's not forget, Mike Hogan, when you talk about general kickboxing and Muay Thai experience, it all goes the way of Errol Zimmerman.
Absolutely, and not just the experience, but also the road to this to this fight. Errol Zimmerman won the K1 Europe tournament, which many believe is the hardest tournament to win in order to come here to qualify. And he also had a really tough fight in Korea. So many believe that he took a harder road to get here than Everton Teixeira, who of course won the K1 Japan tournament, and then subsequently, his bout in Korea to come this far. So Zimmerman, of course, is a favorite to win this bout.
As I said, both of these men are 5-0 in their blossoming young K1 careers, both competing in the final 8 for the first time ever. Quarterfinal number 3, on paper at least, it looks like an absolute cracker. You have 2 of the fastest, 2 of the most explosive, and 2 of the finest combination fighters in the world in Gökhan Saki of Turkey and Ruslan Karayev of Russia. Ernesto, a very difficult fight to choose. It may be the powerful edge of Gökhan Saki's leg kicks, or will it be the blinding combinations of Ruslan Karayev?
Yeah, also this one very difficult to predict. I think they both have a knockout power in their arms and in their legs. They both are very explosive. I cannot imagine that this fight goes for 3 rounds. That's hardly impossible.
And the winner of that one, of course, will take on the winner of quarterfinal number 4. It is another blockbuster. You've got two of the old school fighters. In one corner, the former two-time K-1 Grand Prix champion from the Netherlands, the Flying Dutchman Remy Bonjaski, takes on the human refrigerator, Jerome Lebana. Mike Hogan, always the bridesmaid and never the bride, so to speak, for Jerome Lebana. Can he finally make it his year to win the K-1 Grand Prix?
Well, I'm sure that's what the French K-1 fans and you know, the longtime K-1 fans want to know. You know, Jerome Lebana is probably amongst the most recognized K-1 fighters worldwide who has never won, you know, the big one. Remy, of course, it's a two-time champion, but was also on a downslopes and is kind of in a rebuilding stages after his K-1 World Grand Prix wins. So, you know, maybe a do and die for Jerome, you know, and Remy definitely needs to make a statement with this fight to the K-1 fans, you know, of what to look for him in the future. So interesting fight, interesting matchup.
Jerome Lebana is always crazily popular. Let's not forget, coming off that movie appearance opposite Vin Diesel in Babylon AD. Terrible film, but great fighter. Quarterfinal number 4, Lebana and Bonjaski, 2 reserve fights on tonight. The first one pits a giant against one of K-1's small but powerful fighters. In one corner, you've got the 7'2" behemoth, Hong Man Choi, taking on New Zealand via Las Vegas, 6 foot even of Ray Surfo. Ernesto, literally a massive ask here for Ray. He is on a losing streak of some 6 fights. He's got to get back in the winner's circle here tonight. But what a behemoth of a task he has ahead of him, taking on the monstrous Choi.
Yeah, well, Ray in his last fights, he was not so explosive as like he was before. And I think if he has to fight, if he's going to fight with Hong Man Choi, he must be explosive and he must be fast like he used to be.
And then reserve fight number 2, Ernesto, it is your man, it is my compatriot Paul Slewinski from Adelaide, South Australia, who now resides in Holland and trains under the Mr. Perfect Academy. Ernesto Hoost takes on the animal, the mini Tyson of mixed martial arts and Muay Thai, Melvin Manhoff. Ernesto, Paul fought only 3 weeks ago in Poland. It was a tough contest, although he did win by knockout early in the fight. He did incur some damage, I believe. How is he coming into the fight against Melvin here tonight?
Well, he feels very confident because of his win in where did he fight again?
In Poland, of course.
In Poland, yeah. So he feels kind of good. He feels kind of confident. He trained quite hard. Of course, we know what to do. Melvin is not a guy to brawl with, and yeah, I expect him to fight smart, to fight with a lot of kicking, and we'll see what happens.
Mike, Melvin Manhoff, someone that you and I have commentated all this year in the Dream Series. As we know, he is an absolute animal. I expect Melvin to come out hard and fast from the opening bow, go hell for leather on Paul for the first 3 minutes. But do you think there's a chance that Melvin could spend all his pennies a little too early and gas out by the latter rounds? Maybe Paul has to lead him to deep water.
You know, gassing out was never Melvin's problem. It's always been, you know, at least in the MMA, it's always been getting caught in something or coming out too aggressive and ending up, you know, making a mistake. Of course, this is all stand-up, so he doesn't have to worry about the ground, which is usually where he gets caught the most. You know, what's interesting about this fight is that Paul is also a very active fighter. He's not the one to dance around and take a lot of time. And, you know, just, of course, my theory, because I didn't hang around Paul and I don't speak, but he had his last couple of fights in K-1 have been controversially decided against him. So, you know, he might be out here to look for a statement and say, you know what, I'm going to put this away. I'm going to show the K-1 fans and officials that, you know, I'm going to put this one away. So I think this matchup, this fight, may end up being one of the most interesting of the night.
So that is the totality of our fights here tonight, folks. The Yokohama Arena, as the crowd continues to build in on this beautiful day outside. We will be sold out. We were officially sold out 1 week ago. Let's take you through the Final 8 tournament again, because, Ernesto, a lot of people are saying this is the most interesting and the hardest tournament to predict a winner in since your last win back in 2002.
Well, I think people are right. They're all good fighters, all technical fighters, all fighters who can kick and can punch. And they're kind of equal. I mean, last year, up till last year, you had Sam Schild. Sam was the taller, the stronger and everything. And Sammy is not here now. Too bad for Semi, but I think very good for the rest of all the fighters.
If we have a look at the odds set out by Las Vegas bookmakers this week, Remy Benjaski has emerged as a very late charge for favouritism. Peter Ertz, though, is the favourite at $5. Butter Hurry and Remy Benjaski at $5.50. Errol Zimmerman at $6 for the win. Karayev at $7.50 and Saki at $7.50. Labana, surprisingly, is the second last of the favourites at $8. And no surprise, Everton Teixeira is considered the outright dark horse. He is $10 for the win. Let's go back again here, guys, to the fight that really the whole world can't stop talking about. Peter Ertz versus Butter Hurry. Mike, Butter Hurry has been in scintillating form the entire year. The guy has been unstoppable. He knocked out Ray Sefo in one round. He knocked out Railway Feitos in one round. He knocked out Ostojic in Honolulu in record time. And of course, he TKO'd Hongman Choi on September 27 in Seoul. It is a typical and archetypal new generation versus old generation fight. Does Butter Hurry, though, have the jaw to withstand the power of a rampaging Peter Ertz?
Butter Hurry's jaw is questionable. No disrespect to him and his skills, but his jaw is questionable. Even in a Hongman Choi fight, and not to say that Hongman Choi doesn't, Hongman Choi took a punching bag beating, delivered one strike, and they happened to knock Butter Hurry down.
I have never seen someone take as much of a liver beating as Hongman Choi took for 3 rounds against Butter and Salt.
Exactly. So that's one thing to question. I think the more important thing to point out here is, in all of Butter Hurry's victories this year, he has never faced a more disciplined fighter than Peter Ertz. I wouldn't say the most experienced, because Ray Sefo, of course, is a super experienced fighter, but he's a very emotional fighter. It's easy to piss him off and get him to play your game, and that's exactly what Butter Hurry did, ironically. He got Ray Sefo to play his game. Peter Ertz is not going to be that easy.
Interestingly, from an historic perspective here tonight, if Ertz beats Hurry, he will equal Ernesto, whose record of 17 wins in the K-1 Grand Prix tournament matches. Ernesto amassed a GP record of 17-7 during his illustrious career as the only 4-time winner of the Grand Prix. Peter's GP record at the moment is 16-9 with 3 tournament wins. Also, Peter Ertz wins here tonight. He will be the second oldest K-1 Grand Prix champion at 38 years and 43 days. Franco Sikotic was the oldest ever champion when he was the first-time champion back in 1993. He was 38 and 208 days old. Folks, sit back and enjoy the madness, enjoy the mania that is about to unfold. It is opening ceremony time here at the Yokohama Arena. Oh, there is nothing like a hot woman pounding some timpani to get the blood flowing here at the Yokohama Arena. The pomp, the pageantry, as only K-1 can do. FEG, the biggest promotional juggernaut on the planet, always turns on the show for the biggest fight sport event on the planet, the Phil's K-1 World Grand Prix. We're about to see the entrance of our fighters onto this massive stage.
This is Phil's K-1 World Grand Prix 2008 final, the biggest martial event in the world. Tonight, fearless warriors have fought a long battle to Yokohama.
We are sold out here at the Yokohama Arena. Even the public press conference yesterday at Shinjuku Train Station Plaza attracted over 1,000 people. They lined the streets, they climbed the trees to get a glimpse of their favorite K-1 fighters. And tonight, around 20,000 fans have jam-packed this massive arena that was styled on Madison Square Garden. The annual fight event that has thrilled us for the last 16 years. And the Triple K-1 World Grand Prix champion, the legendary Dutch lumberjack Peter Urtz, makes his way into the arena. Turkish fighter out of Amsterdam with a slinging leg kick, Kokam Saki, winner of the K-1 World Grand Prix in Hawaii on August 9, when he won the entire tournament in under 8 minutes. You love him or you hate him. There is no doubting his brilliance, the awesomeness that is K-1's heavyweight champion, the Golden Boy Badahari.
From Russia,
Winner of the K-1 World Grand Prix in Taipei in July, Ruslan Kardayev did it in style, knocking out all three opponents, including a devastating KO of Alexander Pichkinov in the final. You talk about cocky, you talk about brash, you talk about oozing confidence. This kid has got it. The Bone Crusher, 22 years old, from the fabled Glory, Golden Glory Gym, Errol Zimmerman. The Flying Dutchman, two-time back-to-back K-1 Grand Prix winner in 03 and 04, Remy Bonchaski. The 9th World Open Kyokushin Karate champion and winner of the K-1 World Grand Prix Japan title, Everton Teixeira of Brazil. Oh, listen to the ovation! He is a megastar here in Japan and all around the world. The battling cyborg, the knockout specialist, Jerome Labana. Our 8 fighters who will try to run the gauntlet here tonight. They are fighting for pride. They are fighting for the big money. And they are fighting for the most coveted belt in the entire world.
The time has come. This is the moment we've all been waiting for.
Look at the adulation here for Jerome Labana.
Tonight, who will be the untouchable champion?
Along with Peter Urtz and Ray Sefo, you'd say Labana is the most popular of K-1 fighters here in Japan. Remy Bonchaski, he's got a new lease on life, he's got a new girlfriend as well. And can he reclaim the belt he last held in 2004? As I said, with the Vegas bookmakers, he is now the equal second favorite, and that man, Peter Urtz, is the outright favorite. The brilliant Badahari has been unstoppable in 2008. Will the momentum continue, or does it end in the hands and feet of Urtz? How about the monstering Errol Zimmerman put on Cloudbay Fate Souza? You can bet that Teixeira is wanting to avenge his Ichigeki stablemate Fate Souza's battering at the hands of the Bone Crusher last time out. Gökhan Saki, the most popular fighter in Turkey, is certainly a dark horse, as is Ruslan Karayev. A former banker, a former model who now makes bank in K-1 time and time again, Remy Bunjaski. And once again, the massive audience pot for the human refrigerator rock and roll, Jerome Labana. Wherever you're watching this one, folks, around the world, particularly a big hello to all of our viewers on HDNet watching live for the first time across the USA. We hope you're enjoying the spectacle that is the one and only K-1 World Grand Prix.
ついに最終章を迎えた2008年 K-1 ワールドグランプリシリーズ栄光の立ち技世界最強の
Mike, when you talk about pomp and you talk about pageantry and just the ability to make a big event absolutely galactically huge, no one does it like K-1.
And for the last 15 years, you know, since '93, K-1 has been putting on events all over the world. We have done events in more countries than any other promoter, fight promoter, be it a mixed martial arts promoter, be it a kickboxing promoter, any promoter. In more countries, we are also broadcasting in more countries, in 138 countries, adding with this broadcast, the 139th country with the United States, with the broadcast on HDNet, which will bring you this event, as well as all of 2009 K-1 season with the World Grand Prix Series and the K-1 Max Series. So we want to welcome those fans that are joining us from the U.S.
Ernesto, as I said earlier, you've been in the Grand Prix so many times.
Yeah.
Sitting here ringside with us, do you get itchy knuckles? Do you get the want to go back in century and give it another throw?
I must be very honest, and I know I will not be the fighter I was, and I mean, I want to be the best. I want to be sure that I can beat everybody. And right now, I'm 43 years old. I must be realistic. I am not sure if I can beat everybody. So for me, it's a simple. It's simple to say I'm not fighting anymore. At least not in the K-1.
Okay, Ernesto Hooster with us ringside, and also, folks, we will be joined later on in commentary by a very special guest, street fighting sensation turned mixed martial arts superstar Kimbo Slice will be joining us very, very soon. Peter Oates versus Butter Hurry, quarterfinal number 1, Zimmerman and Teixeira. Quarterfinal 2, Saki Karayev in QF number 3, and then Bunjaski and Jerome Labana rounding out the 8-man tournament here tonight. Who will run the gauntlet? Who will win the most grueling one-day challenge in the fight world and be crowned the King of Kings? Ernesto, putting you on the spot, one name to emerge as the champion here tonight. Who will it be?
I would like to see Jerome win it for one time.
Mike Kogan, one name. Who's it going to be?
I don't have one. I really don't, because it would be wonderful for Jerome Labana to win, because he's been here so many times, just never won. It would be great for Peter Arts to recapture his 4th and most likely final K-1 World Grand Prix final. But it would be equally exciting to see Butter Hurry take it over and take the torch into the next, generation, as well as Ruslan Karayev, who's on a great comeback. Gökhan Saki, any one of these guys will be fine with me. They all have a story, all worthy of the win.
You tip too many names, Mike.
I know, right? Hey, I gotta see these guys. I gotta pick it.
I suppose sentimentally, you'd have to say your heart goes with Peter Oates and Jerome Labana.
Yeah.
But if you're a member of the new generation, if you're one of the guys that's getting behind the new blood here in K-1, then certainly you're flying the flag of Butter Hurry, of Errol Zimmerman, of Everton Teixeira, Gökhan Saki, and Ruslan Karayev. Ernesto, let's take a look at Butter Hurry momentarily.
Yeah.
As we said earlier, he has been in devastating form all year. Now you've seen Butter around the hotel this week. He was very late turning up to yesterday's press conference. How do you gauge Butter's state of mind over the last few days?
I think he want to make a statement for himself, and he want to point that is important enough that he can do what he does. And so for me, it's now like, okay, you showed that, so now you have to show it. You show it outside the ring, and now you have to show it inside the ring.
And so after we saw Peter Urch literally manhandle Simi Schultz in Seoul, I mean, he beat the Schultz out of the current champion. What does Butter have to do to prevent that from happening here tonight?
Well, I think he has to get on him quite in the beginning of the fight. And he also has to show that he is younger, with a much better condition. And still, he has to watch out for Peter's punching and kicking power.
Do you see any filling up process in this one, Ernesto, or both men just go hell for leather from the opening bell?
Well, it is very good possible that they're going to fight like that, because they both have the drive to go forward. And so it might, one of the two might be caught with a good shot or a good kick, and then it can be all over.
It is, of course, the fight that most fans around the world have been talking about. All the publicity has focused on Butter Hari versus Peter Urch. Old generation versus new generation. Will the torch be passed to Butter to carry on, or will Peter Urch equalise Ernesto's record of 4 Grand Prix titles? And wouldn't it be amazing, Ernesto, if he wins the title here tonight after having last won it 10 years ago?
Oh, that will be very amazing, and well, I'm sure he's able to do it.
Ernesto, another fighter I want to ask you about who is creating waves, he's another Dutch fighter, is the bone crusher Errol Zimmerman. What's the word about Errol back home in Holland? What do people think of the bone crusher? We've seen how powerful he is. We saw how he absolutely monstered Glaube Feitosa in Korea. I have never seen Feitosa take a beating like that. What are your thoughts on Errol?
Well, Errol is he just came up like from last year, and he's doing, he shows that he can do a lot. He can kick, he can punch. The thing is, sometimes he's a little bit too laid back and too relaxed. And as his trainer also tells me, sometimes he likes to go out, he likes to drink something, those kind of things. So what I heard now is that he was very dedicated in training and everything. So his trainer thinks that he will be even better than he was before.
And Mike Kogan, quarterfinal number 4, Remy Bunjaski versus Jerome Labana. Interestingly here, Jerome Labana has stated on more than one occasion that he has trained to beat Bunjaski here tonight and not necessarily to try and go the whole way and win the tournament. It seems that Jerome is just focused on beating Remy here tonight.
Well, you know what, that might be just a psychological thing that Jerome is using for Remy. You know, like, I don't care, win, lose or die, it's do or die in this round. No fighter comes to a tournament, to the final of the tournament, and doesn't want to win the tournament. He just says, I just want to beat up, Remy Bunjaski. I think that might be just a psychological thing. But, he's going to need everything he needs to beat up Remy Bunjaski. I mean, Jerome looked very impressive against Sawayashiki in Korea, but he spent three rounds hitting him with everything but a kitchen sink and couldn't do anything to him. That might be a problem.
Folks, we are ready for fight number 1. It's the one we've all been waiting for. Butter Hari and Peter Urch is coming your way. And now,
ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. Nippon no K-1 fan no minasama konbanwa. We welcome you, ladies and gentlemen, to the Yokohama Arena here in Yokohama, Japan, and the sacred grounds of fight sports' most prestigious event. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Fields K-1 World Grand Prix 2008 opening final round quarter bout number 1. Introducing from the blue stage, from Morocco, here is Butter Hari.
Au style 2006, Espoir Roots, mauvaise crème dans la vie. Elle sur la jambe, à la bonne jambe douceur. Arrêtez de vous muscler comme des chiens bosseurs. Arrêtez de montrer sur tes pas des perquisitions avec une mère en pleurs. Sinon, pas de choses avec des clips, anti-flip, c'est moi. Tu m'identifies, tu sais pas où la salle. Tu me dis chez les lèvres, ça. Lève ton poing, lève ton là. Arrête de postuler. Pour être pour l'or, c'est la jambe, t'as pas le choix. C'est chaud, ma gueule. Tu mets des amendes à la main, qui souffre. Ça fait mal, tu mets tes tentations. Tu me prépares
The golden boy, the bad boy, the devil prince, call him what you like, but there is no doubting the sheer brilliance of the K-1 World Heavyweight Champion, Badr Hari. 6'5", 203 pounds of Hari, the Moroccan, via Amsterdam. Being led to the ring by his trainer, Mike Hassanier from Mike's Gym. And Badr Hari looking very calm, very collected. He doesn't walk to centre ring, Mike Kogan. Badr Hari struts to centre ring, as only Badr Hari can.
Yeah, you know, you gotta love that Mike's pep talk. He does it with Badr Hari, he does it with Melvin. I have no idea what he says to these guys, but they're animals after that. You know, what can you say about Badr Hari? I mean, he's a K-1 heavyweight champion. And hate him or love him, you're gonna have some kind of opinion of Badr Hari. Nobody just, you know, looks at him as just Badr Hari. You either love him or you hate him.
Badr Hari originally was a student of the great Tom Harink at the Chokoriki Gym. Now, Harink once famously said of a young Badr Hari that Hari had more talent than Branko Sikotic and Peter Ertz combined. A very big call, but Hari has certainly showed us the full repertoire of that talent so far in 2008.
And now, presenting from the red stage, from Holland, here is Peter Art.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for this fight? He's gonna break someone's fucking face tonight. So get ready for the one and only K-1 killer, the specialist, the legend, You against me against you. Wanna fight me? What the fuck you gonna do?
Coming from the red stage, Peter Art.
Oh, what an ovation for the man they call Mr. K-1, Peter Ertz. Young plus in the corner of Ertz, the 38-year-old who last won the title back in 1998. In 94, he was the youngest K-1 champion ever, at only 23 years of age. And when he won last that title in 98, he did it in record time. It took Peter Ertz only 6 minutes and 43 seconds to run through 3 opponents in 98 to last win the crown. A K-1 record of 62 and 21 with 28 knockouts for a 71% KO ratio. Ernesto, there is nothing like seeing Peter Ertz come to centre ring at the Grand Prix.
Well, if I look at Badr, if I see Badr, how Badr's looking at him, I'm like, oh wow, I'm all into it.
I tell you what, Mike Kogan, I am so excited about this one, I may lose bladder control.
I know,
This is going to be awesome.
You see, I hope you don't lose the bladder control on me, but, you know, you're right, and you're right to be excited about this. And this particular fight is a true treat to the K-1 fans. I mean, you're talking about a guy in Peter Art that holds on him so many years in this ring, so many victories, so many wonderful moments that he's brought to K-1 fans that only a handful of K-1 fighters can claim. And then you're looking at Badr Hari, of course, who is the future of K-1, and these two get to clash together. Classic.
Quarterfinal bout number 1. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with red trim, standing at 197 centimeters. He weighed in at 100.2 kilograms. Here is the explosive K-1 2007 World Heavyweight Champion from Morocco, introducing Badr Golden Boy Hari. And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue trunks with red trim, standing at 192 centimeters. He weighed in at 109 kilograms. Here is the three-time World Grand Prix champion from Holland, known as Mr. K-1, introducing the Dutch lumberjack, Peter.
Massive ovation for Mr. K-1, Peter Ertz, who has slimmed down for this one. Ertz usually fights at around 113 kilos. They have sped him up. They have slimmed him down to 109. And have a look at the stare down here from Badr Hari. The Moroccan bad boy could beat the sun in a staring contest. 3 by 3 minute rounds. 3 judges ringside are scoring on a 10-point must system. A win is decided by KO, TKO, or judge's decision. 3 knockdowns in 1 round, and you are out. This is quarter-final number 1 of the Fields K-1 World Grand Prix. From the sold-out Yokohama Arena in Japan, Ertz versus Hari. For the right to go through to the first semi-final. After all the talk, we are finally ready to get it on. Peter Ertz in the blue and red, Badr Hari in the black and red. Hari opens up, straight right hand. Nice jab outside thigh kick from Hari. Tags him! He tags him! Left hook from Hari on the attack early. Peter Ertz in trouble. Badr Hari's opened up like a house on fire. The big come off. Ertz is down. Peter Ertz is down. Badr Hari came out like a rabid pit bull. And Peter Ertz has been knocked down in the opening 30 seconds. Hari is looking to finish him. I said there'd be no filling out process. Look at the extension. Look at the reach on Hari's punches and the sheer power that he generates.
Yeah, Badr Hari, generates an enormous amount of knockout power for a seemingly not a very big body frame that he has. It can be kind of deceiving. And as you can see, Badr Hari is doing exactly what Ernesto said he should be doing, and that's coming out aggressive and not letting Peter settle in to his game plan.
Wow, Badr Hari, more combinations than a McDonald's menu here in the first round. And Ertz is in a whole lot of bother. Catches the kicking leg. Not permitted under K-1 rules, that Muay Thai technique. 1 minute 36 remaining here in the first round of 3. Peter Ertz may be cut under the right eye. Hari turns him around, looks for the uppercut, throws the right cross up the center corridor, and brings it back to center ring. Old generation versus new generation, and at the moment the old generation is getting pounded on. But do not write off Peter Ertz. When it comes to heart and when it comes to resilience, there's no one quite like Mr. K-1.
Yeah, and I think the true question is not can Peter Ertz take punches from Badr Hari, but can Badr Hari take punches from Peter Ertz? And Peter seems to have regained his composure and is more or less back into this fight.
Beautiful looping left hand sneaking around the back of the glove of Ertz. Ertz with a rib kick to the upper left side of the carcass. It has been Badr Hari's round so far, but he seems to have slowed now, and it allows Ertz to come on the front foot, really for the first time in this fight.
One thing to say here, and Ernesto, correct me if I'm wrong, but you have to admire Badr Hari's experience, even though he's, relatively, compared to Peter Ertz, of course, he's relatively new to K-1, but he's kind of seasoned experience. He comes out, he hurts Peter, and he goes after him, but once he realizes he doesn't seem to be knocking him out, he kind of slows back, doesn't want to blow his wad all in the first round.
He does that very right. And he also looks very strong, very sharp and very focused and everything.
Yes.
Blood now streaming from the nose of Ertz as he takes another solid right-hand lead. Into the first round, we go to the towels. Of course, tonight we are employing the open scoring system that was trialled at the K-1 Max Final on October 1st at the Budokan. The judges' scorecards will flash on the giant screens here at the Yokohama Arena. Certainly, though, Ernesto, that's got to be a 10-8 round for Badr Hari.
It must be a 10-8 round. No doubt about that. Hari started very strong. He started exactly as he told me to do that. He told me he is too strong, too fast, and his punching power is too big. And up till now, he is right. But he was not able to knock Peter out. So let's see what happened in the second round.
Right, I was just getting ready to say, you know, I think this particular round can be looked at both ways as, of course, a big victory for Badr Hari, both mentally, but is it? You know, because he gave Peter everything he could, and Peter's still standing. So,
and I saw Badr taking some low kicks he shouldn't have taken. So that might have give him problem in later in the tournament if he wins.
Second round of 3, quarterfinal number 1. First round 10-8 on all 3 judges' scorecards here ringside, and of course unofficially in our scorecards. And Ertz on the front foot early. That's more like it from Mr. K-1. Chops the lead quadricep area, and again. Ertz looking to fire the right hand, and he walks into Badr's straight right uppercut. Beautiful combination from the Moroccan.
What Badr does very good, I think, is he starts very strong in the first round right away.
Oh, the Lego Buster is tagged in! Spinning hook kick, the big kibosh! Ertz is down again! The spinning heel kick caught Ertz the jaw. It had him on rubber legs, and Badr Hari has dropped Ertz again. It is pandemonium here. The second time Ertz has gone down.
you know what Badr Hari is doing, you know, what's expected. He's faster. He's just a faster fighter in this, and he's been able to land, you know, good combinations and solid kicks.
What seems to be hurting Peter at the moment is the right-hand lead. There it is again. The short popping left follows through. Badr Hari teeing off on Ertz. And Ertz backs up. High forearm guard. Just a slip there, says the referee. But Ertz looks to be in a bad state here, Ernesto.
Well, right now he is. I mean, having 2 downs. And, I mean, he feels it, of course.
Wild right hand just slipping atop the K-1 logo there. Badr Hari a little over-eager. Just overextending on the cross. 1 minute 35. Right hand smack bang on the kisser again from Hari. Wants to go on the inside perhaps. Work the rib cage. Then pop the uppercut on Peter. And he does just that. Rib cage. Right hand. Looks for the schnoggin knocker. Throws a left. Backs Peter up a couple of paces. It's all over! Well, controversial call from the referee. He maybe looked at the eyes of Peter Ertz, Ernesto, and saw that Peter wasn't all there.
I mean, the referee, I guess he knows what he's doing, but it's of course it's a deception for Peter. I can understand the referee, but they are both professionals, and he should have tried to get it on.
I mean, Ernesto, this is Peter Ertz we're talking about. This isn't some upstart, some newcomer to K1. We've seen Peter take almost inhuman punishment and come back to win fights. And obviously the referee not giving Peter the benefit of the doubt there.
No, that's, well, maybe he thinks about his health. I mean, it's always controversial, this, you know. At the one hand, you think, okay, the referee makes a good decision to save the fighter for any more damage. At the other hand, you think he could have gone on.
But you know Peter's going to be disappointed, Mike, because Peter Ertz is the type of guy that wants to go out on his shield. If Peter Ertz is going to get eliminated from the Grand Prix, he wants to get eliminated by being knocked out cold and not being stopped, what he will say is prematurely, by the center referee.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know of any fighter that's happy about a stoppage, but as Ernesto said, it's always controversial when there's a stoppage. You know, using Dream Aoki fight against Jay-Z, if that fight would have been stopped, Aoki would have never won. But Aoki went on to win. But, you know, hindsight 2020, Peter wasn't doing anything in this round at all. It was just getting, you know,
well, I think he was trying to get ready to come back into the fight. But as I say, what Badr did very well. He started the beginning of the round very hard and at a high pace. And I guess it paid off.
And he was keeping it up. So, being as it may, Badr Hari is moving into the semifinals. And Peter Ertz is going to have to maybe try it next year.
I wonder if Badr Hari has his sights set on Peter Ertz's record win in 1998 when Ertz steamrolled through all 3 opponents in only 6 minutes and 43 seconds. Certainly, Badr Hari is doing a good job so far. And just having a look at Badr as he went past our commentary position and he heads backstage, it doesn't look like he's incurred a lot of damage, Ernesto.
No, I don't think so. I saw him taking a few low kicks, but I'm not sure if they were that hard. But we have to see that in the next fight.
I know you said that Badr told you he was going to come out aggressively against Peter, but did you honestly think Badr would come out that damn hard?
I would have. I thought he would. But then I thought Peter would be able to
defend a little
sustain
better.
that. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say, Ernesto. Was it a matter of Peter doing something wrong, or was he just overwhelmed by the sheer flurries and the work rate and the power of Butter?
As I saw it now, I must admit, Butter told me, but I must admit, Butter told me my punch power is, my punches are too fast and everything. And it looked like his punches were too fast. And then the way he caught him with a beautiful spinning back kick, yeah, but that was just beautiful.
It was the exact same back fist that on his K-1 Grand Prix debut on the undercard against Stefan Leko in 2005, Butter Hari pulled off what was probably the greatest K-1 knockout of all time. Folks, we are ready to roll into quarterfinal number 2. It is a battle of the new generation. Two men who are 5-0 in their young K1 careers. In one corner, the bone crusher, Errol Zimmerman, only 22 years old and looking to become the youngest K1 Grand Prix champion in history. And he takes on the 9th Kyokushin Karate World Open champion, Everton Teixeira of Brazil. Ernesto, most everyone in the world, besides Everton Teixeira's mum and dad, think that Errol Zimmerman is going to win this one. So Teixeira stand a chance if he can see out at least the first 2 minutes of the rampaging Errol? Because you figure Errol is going to come out harder than Butter Hari did against Peter.
Well, I think Errol's going to come out the same way. Maybe not as explosive as Butter, but I'm sure he's going to come out the same way. And yeah, Everton, he doesn't have that much K1 kickboxing style of fights. But then still, he has a big heart, and he's a karate fighter, he's a Kyokushin karate fighter. And those fighters, they stand for big hearts. So
Everton Teixeira is the All-American Kyokushin Karate champion, an amazing 5 times. He was virtually unstoppable in the world of karate before making the move into K1. And Errol Zimmerman, who was a former 3-time national Dutch Muay Thai champion, also before making the much easier transition to the K1 stage. It is a battle of the new generation. It is Everton Teixeira from Brazil with his father here ringside watching. He flew all the way from Rio de Janeiro only last week. Takes on the young, cocky bone crusher Errol Zimmerman for the right to fight the Moroccan K1 World Heavyweight Champion Butter Hari in semi-final number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Fields K1 World Grand Prix 2008 quarterfinal bout number 2. Introducing to you from the blue stage, hailing from Brazil, introducing Everton Teixeira.
Making his way from the blue stage, Everton Teixeira.
The tournament dark horse Everton Teixeira from Brazil makes his way to centering with Team Ichigeki. He's got a bigger entourage than Vincent Chase as Everton Teixeira. Five Falamoy, Babu de Silva, Jason Vermoa, Francisco Chico Filio, Jan Soko, and all the team from Ichigeki. He won the K1 Japanese Grand Prix tournament in Fukuoka, where he defeated Takahagi Nakasako and Keijiro Maeda in the one night. On a 5-fight winning streak, undefeated so far in K1 for a 40% knockout ratio, is the 26-year-old Teixeira. I got the inside word from his trainer, Fife Lamoy, at the hotel earlier today. And Fry told me something very interesting. He said, watch for Everton to switch to southpaw halfway through the fight to confound Errol Zimmerman. And the tactic is to get on the inside of Errol's right hand, drift off to the left, stay out of the way of the right hand, get on the inside, bang the rib cage, and then work the uppercut against Errol. And we'll see if indeed Teixeira does switch to southpaw halfway through the contest.
And now, from the red stage, hailing from Suriname, introducing Errol Zimmerman.
Well, he missed Halloween by about 5 weeks. Errol Zimmerman, the Bone Crusher, makes his way to centre ring with the fabled Golden Glory Gym. Core Hemmers, Busboon, the legend Ramon Deckers in his corner. The 22-year-old Zimmerman, who controversially won the European title in Amsterdam earlier this year, when he defeated Zabit Samedov in a very close final that a lot of pundits thought should have gone Samedov's way. But what was most impressive about Errol was last time out, September 27 in Korea, when he not only beat Glaube Feitosa, he absolutely monstered the Brazilian. And as I said earlier, I have never seen Feitosa take a beating as the one I saw him incur against the Bone Crusher in Seoul, Mike Hogan.
Yeah, you know, not to be anticlimactic because the fight is about to start, but I'll be honest with you, I don't think Teixeira has a chance to win this fight. He had the easiest way from the start, from the offset to get here. He won the K-1 Japan, which was the easiest tournament. And in Seoul, Korea, you know, he battled Musashi, somebody who he should have dominated if he really wants to have a chance to win at this tournament. Errol Zimmerman, to his credit, at 5-0, yes, he had a controversial win against Samedov in Amsterdam, but I think he erased all the doubts with his devastating win over Glaube Feitosa.
Ernesto Hoost, if you're in the corner of Teixeira, what is the one thing you're telling him to do against the Bone Crusher?
Stay close as possible to him. Fight from not fight from distance, because Errol likes to have distance. So I would try to make the fight fight from as close distance as possible.
And fans, if you're watching Errol Zimmerman for the first time in particular, do look out for one of K-1's best and sharpest right hands, and even the way, the sharpness and the cut that Errol gets on his right cross, the way that he follows through and then covers with his shoulder makes him almost impenetrable. This one could be interesting.
All right, fans, here we go. Quarterfinal action scheduled 3 3-minute rounds. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing white trunks with dark blue trim, standing at 187 centimeters, he weighed in at 110 kilograms. Please welcome the young, undefeated K-1 sensation, the K-1 Japan Grand Prix champion 2008 from Brazil, introducing Everton Teixeira.
A massive Kyokushin contingent in the audience here tonight for Teixeira.
And his opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the ring.
Shihan Isorbi and Francisco Chico Filio ringside.
Standing at 190 centimeters, he weighed in at 107.7 kilograms. Here is the K-1 European Grand Prix champion, the colorful and undefeated K-1 rising star from Suriname, introducing Errol, the Bone Crusher Zimmerman.
Errol Zimmerman looking to continue the proud tradition of Surinamese Dutch fighters, the likes of Mr. Perfect Ernesto Hoost and Remy Benjaski. Can he become the youngest K-1 Grand Prix champion in history at only 22 years of age? The bone crusher Errol Zimmerman stare down here. Neither man is flinching. As always, the expressionless face of the Kyokushin fighter, the spirit of us, as they say in the world of Kyokushin, flowing through the veins of Everton Teixeira. 3-by-3 minute rounds. Under K-1 rules for the right to fight in semi-final number 1 against Badahari. It is the Netherlands versus Brazil, two countries that usually meet on the football field tonight, meeting centre ring for the K-1 World Grand Prix.
Well, now it's Suriname against Brazil, two neighbor countries.
Clarification, thank you, Ernesto. It is Teixeira in the white and Zimmerman, the bone crusher, in the black. Look out for the right hand of Zimmerman. Look out for the vicious Kyokushin leg kicks. The Mawashigeri of Everton Teixeira. Slash of leg kicks. Jab 2 from Teixeira, who surprisingly in Korea on September 27 outboxed Musashi for the victory to be here tonight, especially since Musashi is trained by former WBA world champion Frankie Lyles. There's a taste of the right hand from Errol Zimmerman. And you can see there Teixeira drifting off to his left constantly, or to the left of Zimmerman, I should say, to stay out of the range of that right hand. Slams the leg kick to the lead quadriceps, then goes upstairs, looking for the headache maker. Left hook from Errol. Still a filling out process here in the first round of 3. Overhand right from Teixeira, slips the jab nicely.
You know, devastating leg kicks, of course, symbolic of Kyokushin karate. But, you know, the early indications seem that he's not going to outbox Zimmerman, because Zimmerman landed some pretty devastating punches.
Teixeira, who's been sparring Ray Sefo, Doug Viney, and Jan the Giant Nortier.
Good left.
Smack bang on the kiss, a right hand from Teixeira! And Zimmerman gets out of the corner with a high knee. He restyled to the Muay Thai technique as Teixeira plows up the center corridor again. Nice front kick, Maigeri to the midsection. Good defense work there from Teixeira, and goes for the femoral artery on the inside thigh. Overhand right, beautiful counter from Teixeira. Body shots, right hand. Errol Zimmerman taking more hits than Yahoo. And he gets out of the blue corner. Good work so far from Errol.
Never fails, right? I think fighters should start paying me, because the moment I say they're not doing something, they turn around and they start doing it. It happens in MMA, it's happening here. I just got done saying Teixeira is not, you know, he's being outboxed, and there he goes, turns Mike Tyson on me. You know, what
Let's
can I
not
say?
forget that in the corner of Teixeira, former Golden Gloves and Muhammad Ali Cup winner, Fai Philamoy. The man who has taught Kyokushin how to box, and certainly he has done a wonder with Everton Teixeira. Rib kick just above the liver there from Teixeira.
What do you say?
Nice right cross up the center corridor again from Teixeira.
Teixeira taking over this round.
I think so. I think the difference is not that big, but he surprises me with his boxing.
And you know what really impresses about Everton is the counter fighting. The amount of times he finds range with the right hand on the counter after Errol overextends is sublime. Again, two-punch combination, backs up the bone crusher, shows him no respect whatsoever. I give the first round 10-9er to Teixeira, Mike.
Oh, absolutely. I am shocked. I mean, I am shocked at inactivity level of Errol Zimmerman and the unbelievably improved boxing ability of Everton Teixeira. I mean, no offense to Musashi, but outboxing him is not a big accomplishment because he doesn't use his hands that much.
Yeah.
You know what, Ernesto? When someone said to me yesterday that Teixeira has no chance, he's pretty much an unknown in the world of K1, I flashed back to 2001 when another unknown with no fighting pedigree called Mark Hunt steamrolled through the competition and won.
Of course, Mark was a very strong fighter. But then now, Everton, I think he surprised all of us with his boxing. And he also took some punishment because Errol hit him. Errol got him a few times with the right, and he just took them.
Okay, the judges here ringside, two of them have given it 10-9 the way of Teixeira. The other judge gave it a 10-all draw. So Teixeira in the lead after one as we roll into the second of 3.
Amazing. I mean, really, really
Oh, there's that right-hand
nice
counter
right hand.
again.
What a turnaround from Takera. I mean, I don't know what he's been eating, but it's definitely helping him and working on it.
And don't forget, his father has flown all the way from Rio to be here tonight. So certainly another motivational factor playing here for Everton Teixeira. Nice rib kick off the rear leg there from the bone crusher Errol Zimmerman.
Well, I'm surprised by the fact that Teixeira knows to counter the punches and the kicks. I'm really surprised by that.
I mean, they obviously did their homework. You know,
Yeah.
Takera is not just here swinging for the fences, hoping something would happen.
No.
So, but the level of execution that he's able to do using his hands, especially coming from a Kyokushin karate
Yeah, but it's
background.
not, of course, not only homework, because I mean, being able to do homework, you must know what to do, and he knows what to do. He shows that he knows what to do.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, aside from having done the homework, he's executing it to the T right now, and he has Zimmerman completely confused.
Now he actually caught Zimmerman with a right-hand lead, followed by a liver shot. Good inside thigh kick there from Teixeira. He is stringing together the combinations. Rib kick from Zimmerman, and you feel now that Teixeira has earned the respect of Errol.
Yeah.
We could see at the press conference yesterday, Ernesto, that Errol thought he'd have a walkover in this one.
Yeah, you're completely right what you say. I mean, Errol shows respect for him now, as he didn't want to do before.
Well, it's either respect or Errol's just standing here and going, who am I fighting? Who is this guy? And what do I do with him?
And yet again, Everton beating Errol to the punch. Caught him with the jab. Nice right-hand counter again. He keeps thrusting that cross up the center corridor and again attacks the liver section. Once more to the upper right rib cage of the bone crusher. This is solid work all round, upstairs and downstairs from Everton Teixeira.
You know, this fight illustrates the level of competition here at K-1. And I think for those fans who are not familiar with K-1 and are watching it for the first time, especially for our U.S. fans, you know, these guys have fought all year in tournaments, winning those tournaments to get here to fight in yet another tournament. So,
in centering at the moment, you have the Japanese Grand Prix champion Teixeira, the European Grand Prix champion Zimmerman, and Zimmerman catches him with the right hand! The first good power shot of the fight there from Errol Zimmerman, and only a slip, says the referee, as Shihanis Solby shouts instructions from ringside with the Kyokushin contingent.
I must say, Teixeira keeps on working consistently throughout the whole round, and that might make him win the round again. Although, of course, Errol just hit him very good.
Final 10 seconds of the opening round. We haven't seen Teixeira switch to southpaw, as his trainer Five Fulamoy suggested he may do.
why would he? I mean,
Exactly.
he's able to deliver everything he
Why
needs to
fix
do
it if it ain't
in
broke?
traditional stands. You know, there's no need to. He's already surprised. You know, he said he's going to switch to southpaw as a surprise tactic. I think he surprised Zimmerman with his boxing, with his counter punching, and with his ability to keep Zimmerman at bay, at a reach where Zimmerman really wants to be. You know, at the beginning of the fight, you said, you know, for Takera to win, he needs to come on the inside. He's staying on the outside and he's out punching Zimmerman, out kicking Zimmerman. Why switch?
And Ernesto, as we said earlier on, that right cross of Everton Teixeira, he's had more crosses in the Vatican for 2 rounds so far. 1 more round to go. Errol's got to find a way to stop that right cross landing.
Well, he has to go in full attack, in my opinion. He cannot wait for Teixeira. Teixeira shows that he can take a punch also. So he has to work very hard to win this round and make it a draw or a win.
Now, boys, things just became a little more interesting. All 3 judges in that round gave it, wait for this one, 9 points even. A drawn round.
Okay.
So still, Teixeira is ahead. He won the first round, a drawn second round. 3 minutes remains in quarterfinal number 2. The winner to face Badahari.
You know, judges worldwide get no love. You know, there's always controversial decisions.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, sometimes these judges, I don't know what fights they're watching. You know, when Pichkanov fought
With Ruslan? Oh, with Khalid Taifaus.
with Taifaus, you know, God knows what fight they were watching. Arguably, even Ray Cefa's fight with Semedov.
Or even Ray Sefo fight with Gokhan Saki. Going to win an extra round, but at the moment, both these men trying to prevent an extra round. In case of a draw, folks, under K-1 rules, we can go a maximum of 2 extension rounds. Beautiful liver shot, and again, banging the carcass. Zimmerman forced to cover up. Teixeira again outboxing the bone crusher. Throws the right hand, now he's fighting southpaw. There's the switch, back to orthodox. A momentary switch to southpaw from Teixeira.
Errol looks like he's slowed down. He doesn't put as much pressure as possible.
Cracking rib shot there from Errol. But the hands are lacking the mustard now from the bone crusher. Looks for the overhand right, the cranium cracker. Teixeira is so relaxed. Jumping round kick from Zimmerman. Good right cross, high left round kick. Trying to loop the shin around the back of the neck from Teixeira.
You know, Ernesto, talk a little bit about...
Nice combination from Errol Zimmerman, just digging away to the body, then went up to the head and the legs. Wild uppercut, almost took out the ring lights.
Up until that combination, you know, Teixeira seemed to have taken Zimmerman out of his element. How difficult is it to come back, you know, to your game plan?
Very difficult. If somebody breaks your game plan, then it's difficult to come back, because you have to actually... Oh, nice uppercut, nice right.
Beautiful uppercut.
But you have to try to get back in that pace. That is not that easy.
Zimmerman is
or you have to try to change something.
Errol Zimmerman has caught Teixeira with two flush uppercuts, and Teixeira shook them both off. Good inside thigh kick again, just above the left knee from Teixeira.
I think the winner of this fight will be Badahari.
Well, there you go. Both these men have incurred so much punishment that Badahari, watching on closed circuit backstage, has to be smiling right now. Jab two from Zimmerman. Uppercut! He caught him! That could turn the tide! Teixeira has been dropped for the first time in his K-1 career, and it could not have happened at a worse time.
And dropped he was. I mean, he's got glass eyes. He has no idea where he's at right now.
Jumping knee! Here comes the bone crusher! Teixeira in trouble! End of the third and final round. Well, did Zimmerman go kleptomaniac? Did he steal it with that knockdown, Ernesto?
I think he did, because I don't think Teixeira did enough to prevent a 10-8. And since it was 9-9 in the last round, in the former round, yeah, he must have lost the fight.
I tell you what, folks, wherever you're watching this one around the world, particularly in the US for the first time ever live on HDNet, you've got to be enjoying watching the greatest stand-up strikers on the planet.
Very nice uppercut.
What a surprising fight, but then again, what a turnaround. You know, Errol Zimmerman coming back and basically taking this fight. Ernesto's right. We have an open scoring system, so it's no rocket science. First round went to Everton. Second round was a draw. This round definitely goes to Zimmerman as a 10-8.
But you know what, guys? Respect for Everton Teixeira. He earns it here tonight. He cut his wings in K1 here, and now he is a fair dinkum real deal player for 2009.
Yeah, I think that is only good for K1, of course. The K1 shows that the fighter doesn't only come from Holland, and there's much more possibility now for K1 to expand also.
And the thing that really impresses about Everton is, don't forget, under Kyokushin rules that he is used to outside of his now 6 K1 fights, they do not permit punching to the face. So for Everton Teixeira, in a short amount of time, to hone his boxing skills like this is an outstanding effort, Mike.
Phenomenal. I mean, if there's one thing Everton Teixeira showed us from the start, is that he can evolve as a fighter. In just 1 year, he has evolved into a premier level K1 fighter. We're in the K1 World Grand Prix finals. I mean, losing here is no problem.
First judge, 27-27, a draw. Second judge, 29-27 for Errol. 28-27. And Zimmerman is through. 2 judges for Zimmerman, 1 judge a draw. Errol Zimmerman now faces Badahari. And Ernesto, like you said, Badahari must be all smiles backstage right now.
Yeah, he saw a lot of punches thrown by Teixeira. He saw maybe the weak points of Errol. He and his trainer. So, well, at least it will be a very interesting fight.
So the kudos go to Errol Zimmerman as he passes in front of our commentary position. Looking a little heavy on his legs there is Zimmerman. And a hats off to Teixeira if I was wearing a hat, because he earned my respect and he earned the respect of the watching world here tonight over 3 tough rounds.
He doesn't need a hat.
How could he put a hat on that head? Congratulations there from Francisco Filio and Shihan Isobi, the hierarchy of Kyokushin here ringside as part of Team Ichigeki. And folks, that means we're about to roll in to quarterfinal number 3 coming up next. 2 more new generation fighters are ready to rock and roll. Gökhan Saki of Turkey via Holland takes on the Russian combination fighter, the Flash Ruslan Karayev. On paper, Mike Kogan, this could be the fastest and the nastiest fight here tonight.
Explosive fight. Gökhan Saki is a very explosive fighter, and he has devastating leg kicks. Ruslan Karayev is never known for dragging a fight for too long. You know, both fighters will be going for knockouts. So, yeah, definitely expect an exciting battle between these two.
Abu De Silva, Jason Vermoa, 5 Philamoy. Great ovation here for Teixeira as he makes his way back to the dressing room. Quarterfinal number 3. We've already seen Bada Hari progress via stoppage over Peter Ertz in QF1. And then Zimmerman by decision over Teixeira in QF2. Now Saki takes on Karayev to determine the first entrant into semi-final number 2. Battle of the young guns, the new generation in the house. The Las Vegas odds makers have Karayev at $7.50 and Gökhan Saki also at $7.50 to win the tournament here tonight. Ernesto, if you talk about the more confident of these 2 fighters, going by what we've seen at yesterday's press conference, going by chatting to them at the hotel, you've got to give the confidence edge the way of Gökhan Saki. You've got to give K-1 experience, though, the way of Ruslan Karayev.
Yeah, well, exactly as you say. But Saki is he always looks very confident, and also in his fights, although he's not in the top level that long, still he shows already that he has the strong legs enough to take it.
Well, also, let's not forget that Gökhan Saki, outside of K-1, has had a decorated Muay Thai career, 63 wins, 47 of those by knockout, for a 75% knockout ratio in his entire Muay Thai and K-1 career for Gökhan Saki, who began training in Muay Thai when he was only 13 under Jan Patsieric, and had 25 amateur fights before turning pro at age of 15 as a light heavyweight when he was fighting at 80 kilos square. The man who trains twice a day at the fabled Golden Glory Gym gets set to take on perhaps the best combination fighter in the whole of K1, Ruslan Karayev. New generation versus new generation. Turkey versus Russia is coming up now in quarterfinal number 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Fields K1 World Grand Prix 2008 quarterfinal bout number 3. Introducing from the blue stage, from Russia, here is Ruslan Karayev.
Coming from the blue stage, Ruslan Karayev.
You talk about a man with more combinations than a Chinese restaurant, and you talk about Ruslan Karayev. A K1 record of 11-6 with 6 knockouts for a 55% KO ratio. He disappeared from K-1 for a year between June 07 and June 08 when he took time off to look after his terminally ill mother. We're sad to say that Ruslan's mother passed away in September. But how he rallied in center ring. He won the K-1 Grand Prix in Taipei in devastating fashion. He defeated Tomohiro by knockout. Then he knocked out the 7-foot-plus Young Hyun Kim and KO'd Alexander Pichkinov to win the title. It took Kareyev less than 15 minutes to win the entire tournament in Taiwan last July. On September 27 in the final 16, he qualified for the final 8 with a stunning second-round knockout over Khalid Faust, a former amateur kickboxer who amassed a massive amateur record of 169 fights for 160 wins, including 129 wins by knockout. If there is something Kareyev knows how to do, Mike Kogan, it is to knock opponents the F out.
Yes, and don't forget, this is the new and improved Kareyev. He had some personal problems. His mother was sick with cancer. I believe he tasted a little bit of stardom and just kind of went to his head, regrouped, refocused, and he's back, knocking people out left and right.
Turkey, here is Kokanasaki.
He's using Goldberg's music. That's the old Goldberg wrestling music, Mike.
I'm not a big wrestling fan, so I don't have a clue.
Oh, I am.
But I like Ruslan Karayev's music.
Oh yeah, the most popular fighter in Turkey, Gökhan Saki, proves his way to center ring. The legend Ramon Tekes and Core Hemmers in the corner. He absolutely blitzed the field in Honolulu at the Stan Sheriff Center on August 9 when he became the USA champion. It took him only 6 minutes and 30 seconds to defeat 3 opponents in one night. You talk about a young man who is on an amazing 15-fight winning streak inside and outside of K-1, dating all the way back to May 2006. In those 15 fights, he's beat the likes of Ray Seppo, Paul Slawinski, Muhammad Magomedov, Harry Hoof, and of course that rampaging win in Honolulu that guaranteed him a place in the final 16. He defeated Ray Seppo in an exemption round to qualify for the final 8 here tonight. K-1 record of 7-1 with 4 knockouts, a 57% knockout ratio in his K-1 career. You've heard of Don't Mess with the Zohan? Well, this is Don't Mess with the Gökhan in center ring.
That's right. I mean, Gökhan Saki is a mean fighter. He's got a devastating leg kick. I'm talking devastating. You say there's devastating and then there's devastating. In K-1 Hawaii, I mean, he just walks through people with leg kicks.
Mike, I've seen this guy hit the heavy bag with leg kicks in the gym. He hits it so hard I can hear the cow the bag was made from screaming in its afterlife. That's how heavy the leg kicks are of Gökhan Saki.
Yes, and just when
I'm sorry, I must say something. It's not the sound. It's not the sound. It's not the sound. Believe me, I'm a heavy kicker too.
You were a precision kicker as well, Ernesto. That was the thing.
It's true, but I mean, if you don't hear nothing,
you can still break your legs. You can still be just as devastating. Well, there you go. And a lesson in kicking to Mike Cervello, who probably never kicked anything in his life, except for maybe bad habits.
You'll keep, Kogan. You'll keep. Huge ovation for the wildly popular Ruslan Karayev, especially among the female admirers here in Japan and all over the world.
Fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks with gold and silver trim, standing at 182 centimeters, he weighed in at a ready 97.8 kilograms. Here is the K-1 USA Grand Prix champion, hailing from Turkey, known as the Leg Smasher, introducing Gökhan, the Rebel Saki.
Gökhan Saki, who has flown over, I'd say about 30 or 40 of his personal fans here, are all at the press conference making a lot of noise in Shinjuku yesterday. And the stare down, Karayev at 6'2", 209 pounds. Gökhan Saki at 214 pounds, 6 foot even. The higher KO ratio goes the way of Saki, 57%, Karayev 55% knockouts. 3 3-minute rounds, a win is decided by a knockout, TKO or judge's decision. And 3 knockdowns in 1 round means you are out of the fight. It is Turkey versus Russia. It is Karayev versus Saki. The voice, Michael Chavello, Mike Kogan, and Mr. Perfect Ernesto Hoost with your ringside. Quarterfinal number 3. A whipping, a high left round kick. Going for the headache maker is Saki. He slams it up again. Devastatingly fast off that lead leg is Gökhan Saki. And Ruslan will need to keep his gloves up nice and high, protecting that sometimes questionable chin. You will see Ruslan go for the jump turning back kick to the midsection. He likes to use it to great effect. Where's an overhand left there from Saki? Caught it between the eyes.
Yeah, I must say Saki is very complete, a very complete fighter. If it's a spinning round kick or a left hook, it doesn't matter. He can do it all.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say this. We spent so much time in the opening talking about his leg kicks, but at K-1 Hawaii, his last fight against Randy Kim, who's 6'5", I don't know, 290, whatever the hell pounds he is. Gökhan Saki won by a hand, by a knockout, by a KO. So his hands are just as good, and he's a complete fighter.
Yeah. Has a beautiful dipping left hand as Saki, especially if he connects to the liver of Karayev, and he slams that one into the liver section off the lead leg again. So teeing off with that lead shin to the carcass of Karayev. 1 minute 45 remaining here in the first round of 3.
It looks like Saki is always waiting on what Karayev is doing, and then he counters.
And so far, at least in the punching department, he's delivered 3 really good unanswered punches.
Yeah.
Well, except till now. See, I'm telling you, these people need to start paying me because
you must talk more, then there's more happening.
Exactly.
Mike Kogan, the human jinx here ringside. 1 minute 19 remaining in the first round. Clubbing left hand from Saki, fires the overhand right, doesn't connect. A little bit of nimble footwork here from Ruslan Karayev, takes an outside thigh kick.
Ruslan looks more relaxed than normally. Normally he jumps on his opponent with big strength, but this time, whoa.
All tied up, mate.
See, Ernesto, I'm not the only one.
Okay, I don't say anything.
No, keep talking. That's how this fight keeps moving forward. We're keeping our viewers entertained.
Yeah.
Ooh, turning heel kick follow through there from Saki, a bit caught on the forearms from Karayev. Been a solid round so far for Gökhan Saki, the 25-year-old. Thrusts out the jab, overextends, and Karayev makes him pay. Hook, uppercut from Karayev. Brings him back to center ring, does the Russian. Half a minute remaining here in the first. Good front kick to the sternum from Gökhan Saki.
I must say, a lot of action so far in all of these matches, which is great for our newly joined U.S. viewers because it's the middle of the night there. So these guys are definitely keeping them awake.
There is nothing quite like the spectacle that is the K-1 Grand Prix. Final 10 seconds of the opening round. Nice clipping left hand from Gökhan Saki. And Karayev doing a quick count of his teeth. Oh, big shot again from Saki. Ernesto.
Karayev looks like he's safe by the bell.
End of the first round, 2 more to go. We go to the towels, and Mr. Perfect, the 4-time K-1 Grand Prix champion, your scorecard.
I think it's even. I think it's a 10-10. I think it went both ways, the fight, and I think Karayev was maybe leading a little bit, but especially the last 15 seconds, he got hit by Gökhan 2 times. I think it's quite even.
Well, I've got a buffer between Ernesto and I, so I'm going to disagree here, Mike.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to disagree and go, I thought it was Gokhan Saki's round.
I'm not a buffer of anything. If he decides that he wants to take you out, you know, I'm moving out of the way.
You're the buffer also later when Kimbo Slice joins us as well, Mike.
But I would have to say that
They're not going to sit on top of you guys.
Okay, we are ready to roll. Second round of action. Judges in that round, two of them giving it the way of Gokhan Saki, the other judge giving it a draw. So Saki
Saki
is
has the
ahead
advantage,
after
yeah,
one
okay.
round. And Karayev opens up strongly, as we thought he may have in the first, but he didn't. Finally, though, they may have lit a spark here in Ruslan Karayev.
You know what? I don't know if I like this open scoring thing. I think it takes out the mystery of the fight. Like, you know, you kind of go,
It does in a way,
okay, now
Mike,
we know who's winning, who's losing.
but it also holds the judges accountable for their sometimes questionable decisions.
Oh, these judges have questionable decisions.
Overhand left there, uppercut from Karayev. Good inside work here from Ruslan Karayev. These are the combinations I spoke about earlier on, and Saki shakes his head. Oh, big thumping left hand from Karayev. Looking for the Muay Thai knee. Saki forced to cover up in the neutral corner. Karayev is unloading on him. Gokhan Saki shoots his way out, but he's still backed into the neutral corner.
You know, that's Karayev right there. He's doing what Karayev does best, right there. You know, he came out and he said, you know, okay, enough of this leg kick, so I'm going to show you.
While Gokhan Saki wearing more leather than the village people. This is more like it from Ruslan Ernesto.
Yeah, this is the way we know Ruslan, and maybe he thought he wanted to fool us and wait for one round to start this.
Maybe he was jet lagged and
Now it's a long flight from Russia. But Ruslan Karayev is owning Gokhan Saki. So far here in the second round, half a round remaining. Good turning left hook from Saki. Eats the left hand. Saki's hurt. He shrugs him off, but have a look at Gokhan Saki. He is breathing heavily here. Anything you could do, I can do just as well, he says.
But who's the toughest?
Well, at the moment, certainly Gokhan Saki has taken some punishment and still standing and throwing back.
I was going to say, Gokhan Saki doesn't look that hurt. I'm sure he's not enjoying it, but
No, but he looks kind of tired.
He looks
more
fatigued.
tired than
Yes.
hurt.
He's blowing heavy as the Turk. Wild left hand there from Saki. Outside throw kick.
Those things I'm not used to. He's not used to do.
Liver shot. Nice left hand
He's used to do
counter.
those kind of things on the right spot. No, that's what I know him for.
Beautiful in-close boxing here from Ruslan Karayev. Jab, right hand, uppercut, rocks the head back again. Gokhan Saki is going to be eating through the top of his head after a few more of those.
I mean, I got to say, Gokhan Saki has landed some pretty impressive hooks throughout these first two rounds, but they don't seem to phase Ruslan any. I mean, he's not stopping, he's not slowing down, he's not even flinching. It's like, yeah, whatever, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Final 10 seconds of the second round.
Let's say something about his.
Ooh, we almost caught him with a high left round kick, and Ruslan backs Gokhan against the ropes here. Gokhan tries to fire off with the uppercut. End of the second, one more round to go, Ernesto.
It was a beautiful round. You know, I mean, I enjoyed every second of it. I mean, they both try to go both ways. They try to go forward. They try to hit each other. They really try to win the round. But I must say that I think Karayev won this round.
For sure, I'm definitely not going to disagree with you on that. I think Karayev won this round. And equally, I think this fight is building up to be exactly what we expected. It's an all-out war. You know, these guys are not here to stall, to do. They're here to knock each other out. They're here to win.
Okay, the judges have rendered. Two judges give it a 10-all round, drawn. One judge leaning the way of Ruslan Karayev.
Interesting.
So really, Gokhan Saki is still ahead because you had two judges in the first round.
It is still.
Yeah, like I said, these judges, I don't know what these people need to do in the ring to win their heart. I mean, if you're not going to give this round to Karayev, I don't know what he needs to do. He needs to knock him out.
That is kind of strange. Yeah.
May touch gloves, third and final round from the sold-out Yokohama Arena in Japan. Quarterfinal number 3. The winner will face either Remy Bonjaski or Jerome Labana. Good outside fire kick from Gokhan Saki. Turning left hook, fires out the front kick. And again, Karayev looking to get on the inside and work the hands. Chops the thigh again, showing why they call him. Oh, the spinning back fist! He caught him! He caught him! The spinning back fist from Gokhan Saki has brought the house down! What a shot, Ernesto!
Well, this what I have to say about Saki, that he knows. You never know what he's doing, but he's always coming with something.
Overhand right from Kardaev, and now Kardaev on the attack. He knows he's got to cover ground here.
Short of a TKO or a KO in this fight, I think Gokhan Saki just sealed his victory, because if the last round was almost a draw with just one judge giving it to Kardaev, they're definitely going to give Gokhan Saki this round. So if the fight continues the way it is.
Yeah.
Kardaev being forced to back up here, and again a thumping left hand from Saki. The overhand right, looking for the Van Gogh technique, trying to take his ear off. Back Saki against the ropes, digs away to the rib cage, and Saki just covers up, trying to ride out the clock a little here. Gokhan Saki, he knows he must be in the lead after that knockdown, courtesy of an awesome spinning back fist. Kardaev has to find a chink in the armor. Overhand left, clubs him 3 times, then the right hand from Saki. Oh, again, smack bang to the orbital bone. That'll make Ruslan wish he played lawn bowls instead. Digs away to the liver, does Ruslan Kardaev. Shoots the jab, and now Saki again forced to cover up. Kardaev's mouth guard is out here. The referee finally picks it up and will spray it down and reinsert it.
Gokhan Saki is decisively winning this round. I mean, Kardaev is active, but a lot of that is landing on the gloves and not on the face.
But already the 8 count, of course.
Unless Ruslan can pull off a knockdown in the dying stages, you can sign the pink slips. You can sign the ownership papers.
Yeah, but even without the 8 count, Gokhan Saki has landed crisper punches in this fight.
Yeah, but Kardaev is the one who's coming forward all the time.
Overhand right.
That scores a lot by the referees.
Front kick from Saki. Momentarily switching to southpaw. Gokhan Saki looks at the inside thigh kick. You can see the red